So instead of doing a normal introduction of telling who I am and where I am, what I've done that, I would like to ask my panelists to say something about themselves within a minute or something, which is not there in their CV or which people do not know. I'll go first. So I like exercising. I do a lot of push-ups. So what I do is that each birthday of mine, I do the equivalent age of my push-ups. So that is something unique about me.
Great.
No, on that particular day. Other day I do that. So one day before OTT and all these things came, so there was nobody at home. So I had to do something. So I did push-ups. So I did 1,000 push-ups starting from morning to evening. So that's something unique about me. Over to you.
Okay, I think very similar on this line. I'm an endurance runner as well as an Ironman. So I find peace when I run long distance. I find peace when I'm immersed in the water. And I also run mountains. And I'm 50 years old and want to continue this journey. Yeah, that's about me maybe that you don't know. Yeah.
Sir?
Hello. Good afternoon or good evening. I don't know the time. Yeah, like I'm Bedananda Singh and I'm now director of ITCTC. I'm in this field for 29 years in this field of IT and education. And I'm also honorary secretary of Indian Institute of Telecommunication Engineers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, this is Joyremba, and since the chair started with a physical activity, I'm a cyclist, so I do cycling for 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers at a stretch, non-stop. When I say non-stop, the stoppage will be for around 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So quite recently I did a 200 kilometer cycle here in Nepal. And I'm 50 years old.
So I'll not tell you my age. So guys, so first of all, thank you to the Homeland Security for getting us all here and giving us an opportunity of speaking. And so it's a very important day, occasion. So again, Raj, thank you. So today's subject is cyber frontiers, safeguarding data, people, organizations, the digital age. That's the topic for today. So you know that Manipur is bordering Myanmar. So how many in the hall? I'll not ask the people who are sitting on the dais. In the Second World War, Japanese came. They invaded India. You know where they came to? Where one of those iconic battles happened over here. It happened in Imphal. Anybody knows that?
Where?
Not everybody knows that. You know it. It's a place called. It's called. I can't pronounce the name and the Manipur way it's written, but it's called Red Hills. So this just goes to show how little people know of what happened in the past. So if you don't remember what happened in history, you will go and repeat it again. So why am I telling you that? The northeast or Manipur is in the frontier of India, is the gateway to India. So be careful. So that's the same way I would like to draw the similarities of the cyber frontier. So these days, cyber stuff is getting so much. I'll tell you a small joke. This actually happened somewhere in the US. If you remember the first few, when the older generation or the more mature generation would know, there was a time in the world when there was no ATMs. Then the ATMs came. So the ATMs came to the West around 20 years before it came to India. So in one particular branch, a lady goes to the branch manager and says that you have whitewashed the ATM, and now I can't use the ATM machine. So he says that how is that relevant? My whitewashing it and you can't use it. So you know what? I had written my password behind that ATM machine, and it got whitewashed, it got removed. So you might all laugh, but as per the survey, the most used password is anybody? Date of birth? 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Date of birth? No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is the most used password. It's not by me, I'm not telling that. It is, please Google it up and look at it. That is the most used password. And you've got to be really very wise to keep such a difficult password to find out. So that being said, so you know, we had there's something called GDPR, and now in India we got this DPDP which has come. So I would like to hear your thoughts on how is DPDP and what are the effects of it? Is it going to become difficult for us, or is it going to get difficult for us to function in India, or what are your thoughts on that?
Once again, thank you, Chair. You touched my point initially regarding the Japanese, and I was quite offended when you said the Japanese came to India. Maybe this is a very controversial statement. And Red Hill was not only the battle place. I think there were so many other battle places. And the British Army declared the Battle of Imphal and Kohima as the fiercest battle of the Second World War. And in the Red Hill, I have this Imphal Peace Museum, which I'm a director. So I'm very much closely associated with Japanese, and I'm just jokingly saying that I'm offended, but it's a very controversial statement saying the Japanese came to invade India because the Indian National Army under Bose came up to this place. Having said that, yes, indeed, the most common password is 12345, and myself from the technical background, we have to add certain words and special characters. So the most common password that we use is the admin@123.
Yeah.
This is the most common password. Having said that, I think regarding your question, we are in a very hyper-connected world. So we are in a very, very much hyper-connected world, and when there are any risks that happens, the risk is going to be not linear, but it's going to be exponential. Now, the various acts and policies that the government is bringing out, it's little too late sometimes. Of course, all these policies and everything will play a very, very big role, but then many times it so happens that these policies, when it becomes an act, when it becomes regulations, when it is enforced, it's quite late. So I think the policies that have come, the act that have come, are going to serve a lot of purposes. But then if you look into the picture that AI is a buzzword these days, when AI is a buzzword these days, I don't think the Data Protection Act and all this act, I think this needs a lot of revision, right? So I think all the policies and acts are good, but then sometimes it's late. That would be my opening statement. Thank you.
So I'm not going to let you go. So you said it is late. So how can we get around that now? Or what do you think in an ideal world, like suppose you have got a magic wand and you make things change. Suppose you had a magic wand. So what would you want that it become more effective?
It's rather very difficult because I think that the way that the bureaucracy works in India, and the speed at which the IT is changing, this two speed, it cannot match. And therefore, I think the entire MIT, NEGT, National E-Governance Division, or Ministry of Electronics and IT, you have these State E-Governance Mission Team. I think this should be, this should be it should be given to certain organizations which are quite autonomous, not under the umbrella of the ministry where the table works go so slow that when the entire things, it is pretty late. So I think the magic wand is going to be like the NEGT, the MIT, the SCMT, the State Governance Mission Team, everything should be into some kind of autonomous body which will actually formulate the rules and regulations and acts for the country as a whole.
Thank you. I would like to ask you one more question, but then I will not. Okay. I hope I'm going to pronounce your name right. Lairenjam. So, sir, you are in the education field. So, what is in your opinion, how is this entire thing of cyber and physical security and data privacy, how is it impacting the education field? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, when we talk about the cyber securities. Certainly is a data on the organizations, a data of the any institutions. So, like, if you have a data, and it's an asset to our institutions and our organizations. Safety of this data is very important. With these data, we are running, we are managing, we are delivering services to the tens of thousands of our clients. And data and the networks and in the internet, this is like it is very much prone by attacks from the intruders. So like when we are walking, suddenly one day the computer stopped, and then we are not able to like deliver our services to people. We suddenly understand that there is an attack. We call it cyber attacks, that everyone knows. Cyber attacks. So we have to like defend such type of attacks. And such like when we say that these attacks, we should have a shields, and this shields, the tactic of shielding such things is known as the cyber securities that we often have. So in the attacks that everyone knows that we have so many attacks like these things, phishing, we have the attacks, the ransomwares, malwares, then we have distributed Daniel system attacks, and then so many attacks we have. So we have to have these attacks. We have these attacks, and we have to have the shields. Shields, that is known as the what I say. The cyber, what I say. There's a cyber attacks. We have the protections of that. Sorry, I have to have it. What?
That's okay. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. So we'll go on to the next one. So, Niranjan, you are the CEO of JCRE Group. So, how do you, or what have you thought about building or making your organization more cyber secure and ensuring that not only systems and policies, but how is the normal person who's working over there helping you do that?
Right. Thank you so much, Chair, for giving me this opportunity, and I would like to thank Homeland Security once again for hosting such a great summit which holds relevance to the present trends in the security landscape. First of all, like I am not an IT expert. Okay, let me give you that limitation of mine from commenting on this. But but I could definitely contribute to this discussions also from an entrepreneurial point of view for building enterprises. Okay, for the last 13 years, I have built enterprises, and I have been fairly alright and fairly successful in what I have built. And of course, along the way, we had to transform ourselves from being a brick and mortar companies into something, the recently what you call the digital transformation. Everybody wants to be a part of this, because if you are not relevant anymore, you may die very soon. Today in the first panel discussion, we heard about how technology and innovation has sort of shaped the way that we work in the hospitality industry. So likewise, for me, the word cyber frontiers, if you allow me, for me, it's like basically a landscape where there is a digital connection happening between whom? Between individuals like you, the governments, and also business organizations. And you are constantly interacting and operating. Okay? So when I say about individuals, government, and organizations could be business organizations like me. So you are continuously interacting in that landscape. Now you have all of this proliferation of IoT devices, cloud servers coming up, trying to store in your Amazon and all of this. So what are we in effect having, a development A development is that we are widening the surface of attacks that could take place for an enterprise like ours, you know. So the attack could be from multiple fronts, so we have opened that very widely. From an enterprise point of view, to be precisely coming to your point, to your question, is like we definitely want to be secure. We want our data privacy of you know, whatever that we have with regards to our customers, with regards to the so-called the clients that we have, you know. And I can tell you this not as an IT expert, but from being in the industry, that there are a lack of professionals who specialize in cybersecurity. I mean, the only cybersecurity company which sort of contacted me, I mean, one of the top cybersecurity company, that was probably 5-6 years ago. He contacted me from either Bangalore or Hyderabad, and this gentleman has gone on to open offices in London and Europe and all that. And to tell you very frankly, just for the heck of having a conversation, this particular phone with an iOS system, okay, I might be on silent, I might sort of disconnect. And I'm sure that people in the audience will buy this, that you're suddenly discussing, say, ladies are talking and giggling, having coffee in a cafe, and they're talking about handbags. The next moment on Instagram, the handbags are popping up, right? So I don't know how safe we are in. So I think, sir, I think we are in a time where we are badly exposed. As much as the innovation happens, I think the innovation is also happening from the cyber criminals' point of view. कि कैसे इसको attack किया जाए. So yeah, I think we are very susceptible, we are very vulnerable. We want cyber security mechanism in place. So that's what enterprise will look forward to.
Thank you. So, you know, further on to your...
May I continue?
Please.
So I was talking about cyber security. So regarding the institutions, schools, as the e-governance has started, then the online study has started, and online banking is all started. It's all like, it is on the public domains. That security is needed, cyber security is needed for everyone. So when you run an institutions or organizations, and people have to understand structures of the your networks, your devices, and where you are using your, where you are keeping your data, and all these things. So in every level we have the security. There was network security is there, endpoint security is there, cloud tech, security is there, IoT security is there. In this level, people have to know, and we have to know where we have to put our securities, cyber securities. So, and even if you say in the IoTs that people are talking about, we have the sensors on the devices, and you have the softwares, and it's also as it is attached to the internet. So it is exposed by any threats. It is exposed by any cyber attacks. So we have to have like a IoT like securities. We have different technologies on IoTs. So I think this is the answers of your questions.
Thank you. Thank you. So back to your question about this the phone.
Yeah.
So you know, earlier phones, again the more mature generation will know, earlier the phone had a battery which could be removed. Right? So when the battery was removed, the phone was dead. But then suddenly you found all iOS as well as Android phones. Now no phones are, only the feature phones are the ones which the battery can be removed, I think. The Gurus and those basic phones. The rest of it is all there. So you're living with the threat. Okay, I have a question to the audience. I'm talking the audience, all those people who are born after 1990s. The question is, that shows how old I am. Have you all heard of something called Y2K? Y2K. Can somebody answer?
The cadets can answer. Have you heard of Y2K?
Okay.
You asked the latest song. Okay.
So
Y2K, who's going to talk?
Okay, I'm not going to give you the answer. Y2K helped a lot of Indian IT professionals make a life and get green card and stay in the US. So I suggest that you Google it up and look at the answer. I'm not going to tell you that. So, back to you. So at this point of time, so we can deploy the words. Oh, this one another joke I would like to tell. There's this man. We are talking about how Indians look at security, be it info security, be it cyber security, be it physical security. A man went to buy a Mercedes Benz, and they said that, okay, you tell me about the vehicle. The guy said, you know what, this much cc of power and this and that and this, and they've got 6 airbags, and the steering wheel can collapse, and all those things he said. So he said, okay, can you remove those safety features and sell me the car? Will it be lesser? So the salesman was very astonished. He said, why do you want a car without any safety features? He said, no, I will hang my favorite god, and I will God's photograph, and I'll put a Nimbu Mirch over there, and God will save me. So that's the way a lot of us unfortunately believe, and which is not true, it will not help. So back to you. So you can put the world's best technology in an organization. How important is the human angle in this entire jigsaw puzzle? And what can we do to ensure that it gets strengthened?
Yeah, human angle is very, very important. Say, let me give certain examples. So we work for a lot of government departments, and we handle in a day, maybe I think we handle almost 60,000 plus to 1 lakh personal information every single day. And
Manipur government?
Yeah. And at this point of time, I just want to give you another example. Like, as per the Data Protection Act and a lot of other acts, Aadhaar Act and all these things, it says that the Aadhaar number has to be encrypted and is to be stored in the database. But the irony is that you have to have the Aadhaar scan copy uploaded. Doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense at all. But then the application says that, when I say application form, I mean the paper form says that you have to have your scan copy of Aadhaar. These are so many other anomalies that we have. So when I say about the importance of human angle, when we process so much amount of data, so for example, at this point of time, we have around some 7 or 8 number of departmental exams coming up. And around 60,000 youths have already applied for these jobs. And they have made certain payments through net banking, through UPI, and so many other things. The data is there with us. But till date, these data are secure, are safe, in our custody. And these programmers and developers, they know if they want to misuse it, they can misuse it. And therefore, what I want to say is that the human angle is very, very important. So for example, I also run a small BPO company. And we buy the phone numbers of United States, male individuals who are above 60 years. List of phone numbers and names. And per phone number, sometimes we'll charge $1. Right? Because we need so many number of phone numbers to give a call to those individuals in the United States at night, selling some products. Right. So how does the data come from? It can be extracted through some bot, spyware, whatever. But then the human angle is very, very important. So whenever someone joins my company, they do a pledge that I'm going to handle very, very sensitive information, and it is my duty to protect and use this information sensitively. And I think this is a very, very, required thing that has to be done. And I think every now and then, maybe in a couple of months, we need to sensitize, we need to do certain workshops to make them understand how important it is.
So, I call myself to be a digital immigrant. So, when my life started, I did not have a computer. The first computer that I saw was a 95 in my unit, wherein to go inside the place, I had to take off my shoes and go inside and all that. But nowadays, the younger generation is seeing computer from day one and phones and all that. So what are a couple of tips that you can tell the younger generation from not ending up, I know the younger generation knows everything, but I'm sure that the older still knows something that they don't know. So what are a couple of things that you can suggest to this audience wherein we can say that these are a couple of things that we should keep in mind so that we don't end up in a funny situation.
There are so many things actually. Okay. There are so many things, but I think whatever things that you have in your hand, the mobile phone is a supercomputer. If you compare with those computers in our times, you know, we have a 386, 486, and we saw the Windows 3.1 for the first time, and we are quite amazed that it's a color monitor, sound is coming out, multimedia is playing, and we used to log into Windows through a novel network, through a DOS command kind of a thing, and we used to log into this thing. Now, the phone that we have is a very, very powerful computer. But many a times when I go to colleges to take some certain seminars, when I ask the students, do you know how to handle a computer? Raise your hands. All of them will raise their hands. This is a computer they don't realize. That is number one. That you have to realize. Second thing is that whatever thing that you see on your screen, when I say whatever thing that you see, I mean most of the things, especially your social media. The Instagram and the Facebook especially. The entire engine and the platform for this social media is run by AI. How much time you are spending on one picture, how many likes you are doing, how soon you are scrolling, everything is being analyzed. And for each user, a profile is being created. What kind of profile? Your behavioral profile and your psychological profile is being created. Your psychological profile, psychological and behavioral profile is being created. And when you scroll a third time, AI has already started working on it. Using your profile, it will push to you what kind of information that you want to see. So for example, let me take a small example. A young, 16-year-old girl from, say maybe from Bishnupur or Haobam, she used to watch reels and learns dance on reels, no? She follows that. And sometimes she used to stop at a certain point of time based on the color of the skin, based on the kind of dance that she wants to see, or maybe some other things. Suddenly the algorithm will recognize that, okay, this lady, this 16-year-old girl, is interested in this kind of thing. The next moment, the algorithm will start pushing you those items which she spent some more time. And she becomes addicted to that. And say, for example, the system, the algorithm start pushing, what do you call that? Glass face, AI generated, AI modified faces, and the lady and the girl may start feeling very, very, comparatively very low in esteem, comparing to her face and the faces that she is seeing on the screen. It becomes a problem. The self-esteem becomes very low. And maybe in a week time, what it will do, it will start pushing ads for beauty, for fairness, and so many other things. She might start using it. And maybe ultimately, there may be certain challenges that comes up. Certain challenges, certain quiz that may come up on your screen saying that, upload a photo. Upload a photo, make an AI face change, something. She might upload a photo, and the risk is done, the damage is done. So what I'm trying to say is that the system that you have in your hand is very, very powerful, but the engine that is running is AI based, and it is not trustworthy. It is based on engagement, not truth. Facebook, Instagram, these are, the primary goal is engagement. The primary goal of this platform is not truth. This we have to always remember. The more, for example, if I see about some flood, the algorithm will say that show 50 floods. If I start seeing certain political memes, 100 more it will give. So engagement is the main thing. It is not truth. If the social media is based on truth, it would have been much better. But it is based on engagement. That's the biggest problem. And always in your mind, deepfake, in the previous panel we discussed about deepfake. Deepfake again, it's really, really dangerous. And deepfake video is not dangerous. The danger part is that once you know that that video is fake, every time when you see truth once, you always start doubting. That is the biggest, danger that we have. Deepfake is not dangerous. The losing of your conscience and thinking that everything that is truth is also maybe fake, that is the dangerous part.
Thank you. So, Niranjan, a question to you. So, in this world of today, LLMs, Gemini, Perplexity, ChatGPT, Copilot, how trustworthy is it if you start using it with your, or if you start trusting it with your organization's information? What are you using?
These are, some of the tools that you want to use and has become a part of the package which comes along with Google, for example, Gemini. And then there are so many other AI agents that has come in place, right, which tends to help you. To be very honest, it definitely helps us. Like it sort of, summarizes the kind of meetings that we have had. It gives you, even nowadays, Gmail inbox also gives you that if I had mailed, say, Ram, for example, 3 days, 4 days ago, and there is no reply from Ram, there definitely comes a, at the top of my inbox reminder that, do you need a follow-up, right? So all of this definitely helps. But to be very honest, like running businesses, building enterprises, I have my reservations and I have my doubts in terms of trusting all these agents at the same time. That's where organizations and enterprises like ours need expert, what you call the tech companies, which will give us solutions. And that's where cybersecurity comes into play. So at the end of the day, I think I will go back to the topic. Like it's about protecting your data that you have in your organization, in your office files. It's also protecting the people who work with you, right? And at the same time, I'm protecting the organizations that we belong to. So yes, they are my co-pilot, definitely my co-pilot, but I partially trust them and not necessarily fully. Yeah.
Can I just add?
Yeah, please.
This perspective you brought about this AI thing and the large language model. I'm fortunate to be a part of certain United Nations, set of framing certain rules and regulations about this large language model, especially for smaller communities like us. When you say artificial intelligence, just to make it simple, you are making something intelligent artificially by feeding the data. Child is born with natural intelligence. If you have the term artificial intelligence क्या बात आता है ये clever की बात क्या आता है intelligence, cleverness, and cunning. Let me put it like that. Right. Now, when you have intelligence, you can also become clever. When you are clever, you can become cunning. Now, as a machine, once you have the intelligence, you can work around. That is one part of the story. The second part of the story is that these artificial intelligence machines or devices feed on data and they become intelligent by consuming the data. But what if, for people like us, smaller communities, our data is not fed into the system? AI is wanting to feed the data, but we don't have the data. Let me give an example. Let us suppose that the OpenAI ChatGPT is fed on data of Europe. Say, for example, just for France. It is feeding and it's becoming intelligent, getting and reading the data from France. Now, this XYZ AI is there. Suppose that the XYZ AI is used in Manipur by a small kid. And it is asking, and she or he is asking like, how do you greet a person? क्या जवाब देगा? It will say, the AI will answer that. When you greet a person, you have to kiss on the cheeks. What I know? France, Europe, Mexico, Italy, they kiss like this. Matlab kya hai? Our community's data should also be a part of the AI large language model. Otherwise, we will be totally left out. But at the same time, we value so much that we just keep on, having it with us. Another example, Manipuri is doing great in handloom and handicraft and things, so many things. I met one fashion designer, and she was using AI heavily on designs. She is generating designs using AI. As our designs in handloom and handicraft are not a part of the AI system, whenever he or she is generating a design, the signature of our design will never come out. Ultimately, we will die. Because the AI is a revolution, and we have to be a part of this. Just to add to that. And therefore, in the United Nations, there is a convention, there is some kind of forum that's happening where we already had around 4 or 5 sittings already. And there are certain guidelines to be followed. At least for the smaller communities, they should not be left out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll just add one thing. Yeah, I'll just add one thing on this. I wanted data fitting on the AI. There are some works that are going on the biocells. The biocells that we take are biocells that we know it is unique. And people are studying that there should be real-time scanning of our biocells. The scanning will be done by the AI, and it's a process, it's not coming out. But sometimes, everyone, we have unique biocells. And by these studies, people will be finding a man without the internet. People will be finding a unique man anywhere in any part of the world. Thank you.
Thank you. You know what, I want to ask you one more question. So, why I'm asking is that because you're in the education industry. How has the proliferation of these large language models like ChatGPT and Perplexity and Gemini and Copilot affected the output of the student community in doing their homework or whatever?
Yes, certainly it is well known to everyone, I think. Every students are using these things, like you see in the school and the college, while giving examinations, people are using AI, ChatGPT, they are searching for the answers. Instantly answers are coming, and it's good or bad, I don't know, but it's coming. Every students are preferring their presentations to ChatGPTs and other tools. So people are more smart, students are more smart now. And they are now the AI has become earlier AI was that we used to program on AI using the languages. But now we have these AI tools. AI tools are making AI tools, and it's making more easier for the people. Thank you.
So, as an educator, how would you try to stop that, or how can you detect that? Because if you're going to give a homework and they just do a prompt and the information comes out, how do you, or what does your organization do?
Yeah, it's not a question of stopping it here. My daughter is using ChatGPT and many things which I don't know, and she's becoming more smarter in many senses which we don't know, and many things that she sees in this world which we are not seeing even, and they have in different levels. We are in different levels, they have in different levels, but those it's it is I think it's a new levels, and certainly there's also negative points that they are not studying that much as we used to do, and they are spending more time on that instead of spending with the family and other friends. Thank you.
Can I just add one example? I'm sorry to interrupt. When in a battle, maybe Kurukshetra or whatever, When someone is having a sword, you have to fight with a sword. When the students are using AI, the teacher should also use AI to fight it. There are so many tools which a teacher can use to actually, whether to detect whether there's an AI syndrome or things like this. Now, one example, I just met one professor, a medical professor, and this is a real life example. There are certain medical colleges in Manipur, and they had this exam, all Manipur exam conducted from one university. The students of one college, they have written the answers so well. They have written the answers so well that they have gone up to the molecular level. This is what the teacher was saying about, talking to me. They have gone up to the molecular level, and the teacher actually has to refer to the books to make corrections. So these are things which are changing, and it is for us to adapt.
Thank you. So, I would like to ask you this, Niranjan. So these days we keep hearing of this digital arrest and stuff. So in fact, there was this incident which happened in India, wherein one CEO was digitally, his laptop was hacked, digitally arrested and all that, and the ransom, what they wanted was to give certain amount of bitcoins. So how it got detected was that they went to the open market wanting to buy bitcoins. So that got picked up by the cyber police and then went back to the cyber, why are you buying bitcoin? Because in India, buying and selling bitcoins is a problematic issue. So what are your views on that, and I would like to hear your thoughts.
I think, we live in a very uncertain world, definitely that is given and everybody knows about it. And I feel that the world that we are in is very fluid, It doesn't go one way, it's like probably you are just one atom or a molecule in water probably, and you don't know where you are. So you are susceptible and vulnerable to all kind of threats, and the example that you are mentioning, I have also come across an old lady who has been digitally arrested. So the first thing, my reaction is like, what is digital arrest? The first time it happened. And she was arrested on a video by saying that she was being threatened. Various intel organizations like CBI or NIA was being used on her, and she was totally scared. So she went to a bank to withdraw the money or probably transfer the money, which she did. So that's how she got scammed, and got robbed. So, I think with any sense, okay, and unfortunately, the victim was an old lady, probably in one of the metro cities, probably in South, in Bangalore or somewhere that I heard about. Bangalore, right? Yeah, thank you so much. So the whole idea is that are we sort of trained enough to exist in this digital age? In terms of, before digital age, we had certain common sense, right? I think basically it needs awareness. Say for example, if somebody calls you and tries to do sort of a digital arrest to you, you will be like, what the hell, right? You will make a sense out of it. So I think it's more about awareness and education, and also ongoing training in the organizations that we belong to, what roles that we're handling. So I will probably keep my statements to that.
Thank you. However, I would like to ask you this question. I'm asking you this because you are working in this particular field and interaction that I've had. So what are those 4-5 tips that you can give to the audience by which you can stop getting scammed? And the latest is the digital arrest and all those things. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, this digital arrest thing is happening to one of my staff right now. Yeah, the thing is like, he's a very old, developer in my organization, and he opened an account as a salary account, right, around 4 or 5 years back. He used that account for making GPay and all these things. Now what happened was, his college was going to have a get-together, around some 700 students. And these 700 students plus minus, they were contributing certain amount of money. So these friends started pouring in money into his GPA account. And there was a notice came from RBI saying that, how can this account, this. And because of that, his account was blocked. Money can come in, but he cannot withdraw. So 2 months, I was, transferring the salary. He didn't say anything. 3rd month, he came to the HR and says that, I haven't got my salary for the last 3 months. Kya? Transfer to ho gaya. Ultimately, he came to know that something is wrong. He went to some other bank, wanted to open another account, but everything is PAN number connected. He is unable to have a bank account till today for the last 8 months. This is some other kind of digital error that is happening right in my company. There is one part. And regarding tips, I think we're very ignorant. Whenever we want to install certain things on my phone, it's like next. We agree everything. When Niranjan said that, the microphone on my iPhone is listening to whatever we're talking about. But in the agreement, it's already there. Your microphone will be accessed, your album will be accessed, but it's simply, okay, next, and done. So if you file a case, you have already agreed. You cannot do anything. Technology is good. Technology is good. What is bad is neglect. I mean, the world that we are now here is because of technology. We have a cordless microphone. It's technology. Technology is good. Neglect is the enemy. So, I mean, this is the only tip that I would rather, point out to the audience. But things are going to change, and we have to be a part of the revolution. AI is a good thing. Ride on it. Can I take 2 minutes more? So, I'm just giving one example of OpenAI and all these AI systems in the government. There are huge amount of number of cases for number of departments in the state. So many departments are having a number of court cases. Some of the court cases documents are 700 pages, 800 pages. So the court case hearing is going on, and the judge will ask so many questions. They cannot go through all these pages, and it is happening right now, and we are finding a solution. So, the department is crazy how to answer these parawise questions. They started feeding this data into AI and summarize and asking questions. And it's becoming dangerous because you really don't know the essence of that document. Because, like, for example, you have given a sarcastic statement. But as the AI doesn't have emotions, that sarcastic element will be converted into something which is a real line sentence. So this is a situation that is happening, and the department is using AI to summarize it, to give answers parawise to those 700, 800 page documents. And it's deadly.
Thank you. So now we are overshooting time. So this is just for information that Deloitte, which was doing a survey working with the Australian government, they had to pay a huge amount of fine, from $600 or something. I mean, $600,000, because the Australian government found that the work which was generated was thanks to LLMs, and they found that the examples which were quoted or the references that were given were fictitious. So I'm not saying don't use AI, use AI, but use cybersecurity. I'm not saying not go back to the Stone Age, but if you don't use common sense along with technology, well, you'll be at a problem. Thank you guys. Thanks for this. Thanks to all the panelists for contributing, and look forward.
Thank you.
Okay, one question.
One is one question.
Okay.
To all the panelists. In this digital age, digital era, Manipur has experienced one of the longest and most disruptive internet shutdown.
I could not get the last one.
Internet shutdown,
Yes.
internet ban, internet curfew.
Yes.
One of the longest,
Yes.
and most disruptive.
Correct.
Do you think that there's no serious implications on the privacy, the security, and the digital rights of the people?
Sir, that is a question for the bureaucracy to answer. It will be out of my debit to speak on that. So respectfully, I will not be answering that. You have to speak to somebody up in the bureaucratic.
Can I ask you?
Mike, please.
Now, all the companies are collecting our data.
One second, Mike is coming.
So today what is happening is wherever you go, your data is getting asked for. Whether it's your mobile number when you go to a mall to buy something, or your Aadhaar or your PAN, for everything. But the organizations are still not very transparent on what they'll be doing with my data that they're collecting. So what would you want the organizations to do to create that transparency in the mind of the customer to say that my data is secure and why my data is being collected? Because a lot of times when I give my data, I don't even know why my data is being asked. And if I question that, I was told that it's a requirement, either you give or nothing will happen. So how do we address that aspect?
So I mean, this is a difficult question, so I will not answer it.
I mean, I just want to answer Oza Singhen's question. We are devastated by the internet shutdown. And when you shut down the internet, you're not, the problem is not with technical things. You know, technically it's not damage. The psychological damage is enormous. I won't go into detail. But everything comes with a price. Everything comes with a price. Before the advent of internet and everything, we used to, whenever we want to go to an office, there's a register and we used to write our name, address, everything. That point of time we feel that it's okay. But now when we are asked digitally, then we start asking questions. Of course, there has to be some kind of transparency, but I think we have to have a balance between them. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We don't have time. He's looking at me angrily.
Thank you.